Hi, I'm Sandy Erickson with Realty Group, and today I'm joined by Gary Raeker, who is one of our top agents on our team that specializes in helping our clients who are looking to purchase a home. And today we are going to talk about the top 5 things buyers are doing to ensure that their offer gets accepted in this multiple offer market.
Perfect. Well, yes, thanks for having me, Sandy. I've worked in real estate now solely with buyers, so I really understand what it takes right now to be competitive and get offers accepted in this very, very competitive sellers market that we're living through right now. So excited to share some information.
All right. Well, thanks, Gary. Again, super excited to have you today. So, in this continued seller's market, it's not enough anymore to just want to buy a house. And so, obviously, being organized and intentional through the home buying process is essential, but especially when it comes time to making an offer. So, today, Gary and I are going to talk about what we think are the top 5 things buyers should do in order to help ensure that their offer gets accepted. All right, so Gary, the first and most important piece that we always see, of course, in an offer is the price. So talk to me a little bit about that.
Yep, definitely. Last year we saw prices range anywhere from 2 to 10% over the list price. So keeping that in mind when you go to make your offer is very important. And something like an escalation clause, adding that into your offer can work well too and be really competitive right now.
Okay, makes sense. And I know right behind that, Gary, is the inspection contingency. So what is that looking like in today's market?
Yep, definitely. Waiving the inspection is very important to a seller. It's not appealing for all home buyers, but something a seller does look for, not because they're hiding anything. They're just avoiding being on the market longer. And what they're really worried about is a buyer canceling after a few days because they decided not to buy the house. So not something you have to do. Don't feel pressured into skipping an inspection. Every situation would be different, but something to consider when writing offers to be competitive.
All right, and then so the third area that we feel like is really important to try to get right in an offer is the closing date. So what are you seeing in that area, Gary?
Yep, almost any offer we write, the seller's coming back and asking if the buyer has flexibility if for the closing date, if they can move it up a few days or if they can push it back a week or two. So a buyer being flexible on the closing date is extremely important, and then even offering the seller a few days to move out after closing. So close on a Friday and we'll give you until Monday to move all your stuff out. Being flexible and giving the seller that peace of mind is extremely important right now.
Nice. And honestly, that's probably for a lot of buyers, probably an area where they could really give something that the seller will want that doesn't really make them maybe too uncomfortable or, cost them too much money. So that's a good thing to do. And then kind of the fourth thing that we're seeing, I know this is in any market, but right now especially having a strong pre-approval letter. And I think sometimes people get confused about pre-approval letters. And so speak to us a little bit about what that looks like.
Yeah, definitely. Not every pre-approval letter is the same, and definitely not every bank or lender is the same. So what a seller and listing agent are going to ask is how approved is the buyer? How qualified is the buyer? And really having a local trusted lender, someone that we can communicate with, that we recommend and refer someone to, so that that level of communication is extremely important, because a seller is going to ask, have you looked at their assets? Have you looked at their income? Just the pre-approval letter nowadays isn't enough for a seller to feel comfortable when prices are 20, 30, 10% over the asking price. They want to make sure that the buyer can afford that and has the money. So working with a lender that we can communicate with and that can vouch for the buyer and really sell the buyer to the seller is extremely important.
No, that makes total sense. The other thing too that I love is I know our preferred lenders anyway will always follow up with either a call or an email just to kind of, like you said, vouch for the buyer, sell the sellers on the fact that they've got it under control. The buyers are A+ buyers, if they are, of course, but and really try to make the seller and the listing agent feel comfortable that our financing is going to be golden. So, and then the last point that we want to talk about, funny as it may seem, but is a complete and accurate and professionally presented purchase agreement. So run through kind of what that looks like.
Well, you'd be surprised at how many purchase agreements aren't filled out correctly, where it, harms the buyer and it scares the seller and the listing agent. If we don't have a complete or accurate purchase agreement, what else is going to go wrong in the transaction, or what else is going to be missed? It just doesn't ensure a lot of trust in the other party that will get to closing without any anything going wrong. So making sure all the boxes are checked correctly, the lines are filled in correctly. It seems, pretty basic, but to make sure that that is accurate, it goes a long way. Having it submitted professionally, filled out correctly, it really sells the offer to the seller and listing agent that they're working with a qualified, competent realtor on the other side of the transaction. So it does go a long way, and it doesn't happen with every offer. So
Yes, I can attest to that after seeing a lot of offers, especially over the last couple, 3 years, come across my desk and multiple offers. It's amazing the lack of attention to details. So thanks so much, Gary, for being here with me today. It was great to have you. We know this is an overwhelming market for everybody looking to purchase a home. So again, we just want to be a real estate resource. And certainly we have our tools within our multiple offer strategy to help people be successful, and are certainly here for any questions along the way. So thanks again, Gary.
yes, thanks for having me. Appreciate sharing some information. And like Sandy said, everyone's offer and buying situation will be different. So the best thing is to go through that multiple offer strategy and figure out what's best for your situation when you're going to shop for a house.
Awesome. Great last advice. Thanks, guys. See you next time.